guys, so today I'm going to be talking to you about registering for classes. I realize that it's not really a thing that people at FIT talk about, and it's kind of something that you have to figure out for yourself, which I don't think is really fair. And if you're an incoming student and you're trying to figure out this registration process, I know FIT is like super complicated, but these are some of the tips and tricks that I can offer you that will help registration be a little bit more of an easy process. It does take some work, but following these steps and kind of getting into this routine for registration will help things go by really quick, and you'll stay really organized and also be able to maximize the time that you're at school and being able to fit as many classes into one day as possible if you're into that. That's how I like to do it. But if you'd like to see how to register for classes and what works best for me, please keep on watching. And if you want to see more FIT videos, just give this video a thumbs up. So I kind of wrote down some steps on how you should go about the registration process. So the first thing you need to do is go meet with your academic advisor. You should have an advisor assigned to you. I go to an advisor that I found myself. I just decided I wanted to go to a specific person, and that's who I go to all the time. I'm not assigned to her, but it's okay if you prefer someone else, you're allowed to do that. But when you meet with your academic advisor, she's going to print out, or he is going to print out your DARS audit. And a DARS audit pretty much just looks like this. It's all codes, and basically it's an outline on how you need to graduate and what classes you need to accomplish for whatever degree you're hoping to attain. So here we went through everything. This is probably 5 pages. So we went through all of the pages and we saw what classes I needed to take. She highlighted the classes that were really important for me for this semester and for next semester. I am in my bachelor's program now, so there are more classes that I need to finish up and get out of the way so that I can graduate in the spring of 2018. So finally, at the end of this audit, we wrote down basically an outline of the classes that I should be taking for the next 3 semesters. And this would help me to graduate on time and be able to take all the classes that I need to. So for this semester, the spring semester that I'm registering for, I looked down this list that we created together for the spring 2017 semester. There were 3 of my major courses that I needed to take, and there were also 3 liberal arts that I needed to take as well. 2 were required and 1 was my choice. So with that being said, I went on to my next step, which is to line up all the classes that you need to take and decide what days and what times are available. So for me, I like to only go to school 2 days a week. Sometimes it's not possible. If you are an incoming student, you might need to go 3 days a week. But I remember my first semester, I went 4 days a week, and that was super exhausting. I had class every day, and I didn't realize that I could double up my classes and only have class a few days a week instead of pretty much every day. So what I would recommend is to line up all of your classes and write down all of the times that it's available. So what I did was I just lined up every class. There were 6 of them, and I wrote down pretty much every time that it was available on the days that I preferred. I would recommend don't sign up for classes on a Monday or a Friday because you're always there until the last day of the semester. I also learned that the hard way. I had Monday and Friday classes, and I was at school until the very last day of the semester, and that was pretty much like 2 days before Christmas or a couple days before the 3rd week of May. You know, I just got out really late. So after I lined up all of the classes that I wanted to take and the times they were available, I pretty much looked at just Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday because I wanted to take something in the middle of the week. I then tried to make a mock schedule. So get a piece of paper out, and I just use a piece of notebook paper. You really don't need to be fancy with this. It's just a scrap kind of worksheet for you. And what I did was I first started with Tuesday and Wednesday, and I started to map out the classes. I then realized that I couldn't sign up for Tuesday classes because a few of my major courses were only available on certain days, so I had to work around that. So then I changed my schedule to just be Wednesday and Thursday. and I was able to fit 6 classes in 2 days, 3 classes each day, and pretty much back to back. So I have a little bit of a break, but I have had semesters where I have had classes back to back, and I really don't mind it. I enjoy getting all my classes done in one day. It hasn't been overwhelming for me, but some people don't like it. So if that's not your preference, don't worry about cramming everything into one day. It won't be bad at all. If you have class Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you'll still get out of school earlier in the semester, so I wouldn't worry about that at all. But I wanted Wednesday and Thursday. I also work, so I wanted to have as many days to work as possible so that I could also make some money, you know? Sometimes I go through a few sheets of paper trying to make one schedule, because sometimes you figure out that something doesn't work and then you have to go back in, so it's really tedious and you really have to focus and take all of your time to just create this schedule, because once you have it, then all you have to do is just monitor your schedule. So registration opens up one day at a time, and it pretty much goes within like 30-minute intervals of when it opens up for you. And you can check when your registration time is on your MyFIT. If you go to MyFIT and you go to your student tab and you scroll down to registration, you can then click the link that says look up or register for classes. And when you click on that, it will then show you what time your registration time is. So mine this year was 3 p.m. on a Tuesday, so I needed to wait until then to register for classes. But I knew that people were going to be looking at classes before 3 p.m. because I think it opened up at maybe 10. So a lot of the classes that I had scheduled were being filled. So I would check back frequently. The day that you're going to be scheduling, you need to check back to make sure that this little schedule that you created will still work, which sometimes it doesn't, and then you have to go in and reschedule your classes on your little piece of paper. You have to make a new map, which is fine, but you just need to go ahead and do that just to make sure you are organized and you get the classes that you want. So basically, this worked for me. I had to go over it a few times. I ended up not being able to sign up for the math class that I needed, but I was able to substitute it with something else. So just keep that in mind. If something doesn't work for this semester, you can always take something for the next semester and then just kind of switch those two. So once you have finally had and found the schedule that works for you, write down the codes. I didn't know how important it was to write down the codes for each class, because when you go to sign up for classes, all you do is enter codes into little boxes and then you hit submit, and that's how you schedule. So if you don't have the codes, then it will take you a little bit longer to find the codes and then enter it in. Even though you have your map, you know what classes you're signing up for, but you're taking the extra time to go find the codes once your registration time is unlocked. So I have found that to be so difficult because one year I didn't know about this, and I believe it was my first year trying to schedule for classes. I didn't have my codes, and then I was locked out of some classes because they filled up and I just took too long. So at the bottom of this page, I wrote down all the codes for all of the classes that I was planning on taking. And pretty much you enter these codes into the box like I said, and then you're registered for classes, and it's super easy. But if you don't create a map like this, I feel like it's a little harder to get the classes that you want and the days that you want. All of my friends have found this to be super helpful, and we all do the same thing. So that is how I register for classes and what I would recommend to you guys. Again, you have to first meet with your academic advisor and get your DARs. That is the guideline and the tool that will help you the most to know what classes to sign up for. 2, you need to line up your classes and see what days they're available and what times, so you have everything in one sheet. The 3rd is to check regularly once registration opens to see what classes are opening up and what's being filled so that you can adjust your schedule accordingly. And then 4, make sure you write down your codes so that you can sign up like a pro and not take too long. So those are the tips and tricks that I have found work the best for registration. It's so stressful, and it's probably the worst thing that has to happen in college because it takes a lot of time and it's super stressful, and you want to make sure that you graduate on time, but sometimes classes fill up. So this is the most seamless process that I have found, and I hope it works for you. If you have more specific questions regarding registration or classes or anything like that, please comment down below and let me know what you're thinking. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this and found it helpful, and good luck with registration, whether you're registering for fall, winter, spring, summer, whatever it is. This always applies to any registration situation at FIT. So I hope you all have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!